Ooh, okay.
Look at that.
Perfect. Wow. What do we got here?
Italian beef and roasted red pepper and a Mike's hot honey drizzle.
Okay. Looks incredible. Andrew, please do the honors.
That's a shady drizzle.
Yeah, run that
You
back
want more?
one more time.
All right, I'll
yeah,
do it.
run
Yeah,
that back.
There we go.
Good even spread.
Right there. Take a little bite.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cheers, dudes.
A little pizza cheers. It's really good. Yeah, bleep that out.
That's sweet heat. It's a lot of sweet heat. How did you get into playing soccer when you were younger? When did you start to think about playing soccer professionally?
I got into playing soccer just like any kid, really, just kind of play all the sports, see what sticks. Fell in love with soccer. I think the first time I really wanted to play pro was, I don't know if you were on the team, I went to one of the Fire matches and it was sold out at Bridgeview. And I just remember thinking like how cool it was to like be one of those players on those field with all these people in the stands watching you play. And so I think I was maybe 12 years old, 10, 12 years old watching the game. And from then on, just wanted to do it.
How was that memorable? You didn't know if I was on the team or not?
I mean, I don't remember the players, you know?
Could have lied there. What about you, Drew?
I grew up playing soccer from like the moment I could walk because my dad played. We'd pass the ball in the basement every day. And then I went to like my first Fire game at Toyota Park, probably 2006, 2007. And I just remember the guys like warming up on the field and seeing the field for the first time. And like they had the sprinklers going and the balls were skipping and the music was going. And I was like, this is pretty cool. Like I would love to, it's kind of the first time I looked at the field and I was like, I want to do that, like for real.
All right, I'll ask Mike this. Who was a player that you admired growing up?
A specific player I'll get to in a second, but my earliest memory of like falling in love with soccer was the first year the Fire created a team. It was like the only thing I asked for Christmas was Chicago Fire season tickets. So at that point, I don't think I knew a single soccer player, but over the first couple of years, I really fell in love with Ante Razov. I think he scored a lot, which is kind of all I cared about, and that kind of drew me to the team.
My dad took me to Fire games back when they were at like Soldier Field before the return back in the day. And Stoichkov was the guy. And he wore number 8, so like my whole life growing up, I wore number 8. And then when I got signed to the Fire, 8 was taken, so I picked 18, which was Mike's number, So
Once again, just taking
yeah,
chat.
I know.
I
sorry.
thought this whole time you wore 18
But
because of me, no?
No, dude, so I saw Stoichkov. So I was walking into one of my first games. I got rostered. It was my second year. I was dressing. I was planning on subbing in, hopefully. And I was in the parking lot in that back lot at Toyota Park, now SeatGeek Stadium, and I saw Stoichkov. And he was covering the game for Telemundo. And I walked up, and I was like, Christo, what's up, dude? You were my hero. I think he thought I worked at the stadium. He didn't know I was on the team. So when I subbed in the game and played afterwards, he high-fived me and was like, dude, nice job. But I definitely came across as a total fan,
Which is true.
Yeah, I still am, still am. Describe the moment you found out you're getting signed by the Chicago Fire and getting to play for your hometown club.
I was playing in Colorado. My contract was coming up, and I remember my agent calling me and was like, hey, what do you think about coming home? Didn't talk about anything with the contract, just hey, what do you think about coming home? And I immediately said yes. And I was like, no matter, we can figure out all the details later, but get this done. Coming out of college, I never wanted to leave the Fire, but obviously things happen and I wasn't able to sign with them. So my whole career, I knew at some point I wanted to come back. When the opportunity presented itself, I was like, I have to do it because I don't know when it'll happen again.
It was my childhood dream to play for the club. I think countless times I asked to get traded to the Fire, and it was always a no, never happening. And I think the second I gave up on the dream was when I had a meeting with Bruce and it happened, and obviously that was one of the best things that ever happened in my life. So it's cool.
I was sitting in my college apartment with some of my buddies, and the draft was coming up. The Fire just made a staff change with some of the coaching. I was really uncertain if it was going to happen, and I was like, man, am I going to have to go to the combine and fight my way into this league and figure it out? And then luckily, right at the deadline, I got the call. I was watching South Park with my buddies. I got the call and I was so relieved. It was just this weight lifted off me, and then I just got so excited, and I immediately went to the college club in Madison, and we celebrated that night, and then it was back to work.
Do you have a favorite memory from your time playing with the Fire?
For me, when we clinched playoffs. When Greg and the staff came in, that was the first thing they talked about was getting the club back to where it was. And, throughout the whole season, everything was just about playoffs, because the city deserved it. And then the way we did it, going down to Miami, winning the way we did, it was super special.
For me, it's the same thing. Like I was at the Fire's when I was in high school, their last playoff appearance. Incredible atmosphere, and then there was like a drought, right? And then that team we were on in 2017 just like found a really good groove throughout like the middle of that season. Just to be a part of that team and like clinch playoffs for the first time in a couple years, it was kind of a dream come true for me. But specifically, my favorite memory was watching Patrick Duty get his 4-assist game at home. And it's funny because like that's like my favorite moment. That night was all about him, but he got an opportunity to finally like play and hadn't really played a lot that season. And it was cool because him and I came up through the academy together. So
I was at that game. I remember that.
Were you?
Yeah.
It was,
I remember the locker
I think it was
room
against New
afterwards.
England.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a great memory.
Oh, you should probably ask me that
Okay,
one.
let's see.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the bald cap fans this season? I've seen that crew.
You guys got
I
it?
like
Yeah.
that crew.
They're great.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know when it started, but 3 weeks ago, my fiance was like walking through the stadium and she just sees these kids with like bald caps on. And she didn't know maybe if it was like for me or for Greg or whatever. But then there's all the Gutman jerseys on the back. After the game, we get in the car and she's like, there's these kids that like are wearing these bald caps. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she ends up like showing me a picture. She took a picture with them to show me. And then the following game, I think, was the Kansas City game. And so I get subbed out and one of our staff members is like, hey, these like kids with these bald caps are over there. Like I told them you'd go after the game, take a picture with them. So I go over there, I see it, they're all like going crazy. I really like it. I think it like kind of connects the fan base to the players. So I'm hoping maybe like one time they can do like the first 5,000 fans get a bald cap or something.
No, yeah, we gotta mass produce those bald caps. You also have like a really nice shaped head.
I get
You know
that
what
a
I mean?
lot.
It is
like
great.
your head's like
great.
perfect.
It's perfect for being bald.
It's like you were meant to be bald.
Yeah.
It's almost like nature designed you that way.
Do you think that played any part in you being on Berhalter's squad, or?
It's gotta be, right?
gotta
It's
be.
gotta. We should ask him one time, maybe
Yeah.
after a win.
He probably wouldn't admit it, but it's probably true.
Yeah.
It's probably true. All right, what do we
Look
got
at
here?
that.
This is our classic. You got pepperoni, you got hot honey, all the staples. All this is going to be made on our recipe for the pepperoni. This is the fresh pecorino on top.
Looks
Thanks,
amazing.
Thank you. I think we need some more hot honey though.
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet heat.
Nice. And then make sure to kind of run that back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
This
another
is
layer.
layer.
This is an amateur Mike's hot honey drizzle, but we'll allow
I
it.
gotta
We all
work
have
on it. I
things
gotta
to
come
work on.
back and be better with it.
All right, you guys take a slice. I'm gonna ask you the next question here.
Bro.
Did the team organize any off-field
Oh, wow.
outings to help build team chemistry during your time with the Fire? Describe a few of your favorite memories from those times.
We did a lot of like player organizing, team bonding, which I think was needed. We had a tough start to the season and it felt like we weren't clicking. So we started going and experiencing, the city a little bit and hanging together. And I think that helped us bond and we kind of turned it around. I think we were one goal short of making the playoffs, but it was a valiant effort.
All right, here's another question, a follow-up. Have you ever been on a winning team that didn't go out together?
No,
Never.
never.
Every winning team you've been on spent time together off the field.
It's impossible to win otherwise. You can win a couple games, but you can't win an MLS Cup without it.
There you have it.
You got any?
The team and the staff with the last year and this year have done a really good job. Like there'll be team organized dinners maybe like once every 6 weeks, once every 2 months, something like that. They go on for like 3 or 4 hours. Some guys stay later and hang out, but I think it's good because also in those dinners, like we have like table cards, right? So that you're forced to maybe sit with people that like you wouldn't normally like sit with. So it helps kind of create a little bit more camaraderie within the team. And now you walk into our locker room and like everyone's friends with each other now. Everyone gets along, everyone's having a good time. And I think it's translating, especially this year on the field. Like you can see that we actually like genuinely like each other and know each other.
I mean, I feel like at least while I was playing, it was like 99%, but I'd say majority of like even training facilities, guys just want to get there right before they're supposed to be there and probably leave when practice is over.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen your guys' training facility and so I feel like the team bonding you guys probably get simply from just not wanting to leave there and watch a game, or like your guys' skyline view from your lunches and stuff it's
amazing.
Memorable team outing. I mean, we did Dax McCarty's birthday. I want to say it was like a small Irish pub in Lincoln Park. Somebody, I think one of his friends rented out like the basement. The whole team showed up, but like Anna Ivanovic, Schweinsteiger's wife, also showed up, and it was a pretty rundown basement, like kind of looked like a frat basement. And we were like, oh my God, there's a world champion soccer player and a world champion tennis player in this basement. We had a blast.
Hey guys, it's Andrew Gutman. Thanks for joining us today, enjoying some pizza and kind of talking about our careers.